Hello, CIS11 student. I wanted to address the question regarding how do I simulate, assemble the programs, LC3 program on a MacBook or macOS or Chromebook. So as I post in the announcements, you will be using online simulator. And so I wanted to demonstrate that real quick, so that way you have an understanding of how to do it. So in the announcement, it tells you that you can use one of the three options. You can visit one of the website to be able to do that. But first, how do you write your program so that way you can run it using an online simulator? If you're using macOS, you can use TextEdit, which comes with the operating system. You can also find TextMate online. Now, if you're using proprietary software like Sublime Text, likely that you have to pay, but you can also find Notepad or other type of text editor like Vim. Um, or if you have an IDE that you have used for a coding class, like Python or C++, you can use an IDE text editor, the part where you write your code, and be able to save your code as an ASM file. So you don't have to run it in that IDE. You just need to use the text editor to write your code as long as you save your file as a .asm file. So as you can see, I have my program and I'm currently using Windows, but you just need to have a text editor. So here's my Lab 2 program. I have a Hello World program, and basically I would start with the comments and I would have the origination address as shown in your lab instruction. And then there would be instruction for the program to do certain things. So here I would load effective addresses to the register and using a label. And then I would have a put instruction for it to output the string on console. And then I would halt the program. As I'm using the label, I would make sure that I define the label. And that label is going to tie with a string because I'm using a load effective address for the register 0. And it must be register 0. It cannot be any other register. And then I would have an end to my program, so .end needs to be there. Now, once I write this in a text editor, and you can use, uh, an IDE, just remember that you have to save it with the file extension .asm. So I'm going to go File, Save As, um, and we don't want it as a .text. We want to make sure that we save it as a .asm. So I'm going to give it a name. So I put L2ex1.asm, and I'm going to click Save. And once I save my program, what I'll do is I'm going to visit one of the website. And so this is an online simulator for LC3. What you do is when you visit a website, and the other links is going to give you a similar UI. So you're going to click Assemble button, and this window is going to pop up. Go back to your code, and you're going to go ahead and highlight everything. You're going to copy, and you are going to paste your code into the window. Once you have your code in this window, you're going to click Assemble, and it's going to show that you can download your object file once it's assembled. Now, if you have an error, it's going to show the error here, so you need to go through and check your code. You can also download your symbol table. So in a regular system like Windows, if you're using LC3 simulator that's installed, when you assemble, it's going to create these files. When you're using an online simulator, what will happen is um, when you assemble, you can download these files. So if you want those files, you'll be able to get the object files. And the object file is what's needed for it to run the program or simulate the program. So once I assemble, I'm going to go ahead and click load into simulator. And when you look, you're going to see your instructions loaded here. Once that's done, you're going to run the program. So I'm going to go ahead and click run here. And I should be able to see the output on console. Now, in some cases where you would have to edit the input before you run the program, what you can do is before you assemble the program, you need to edit the output, the input to have the proper output in the at the address location. So I'm gonna show you how to do that so that way you know how to do that for the future exercise. So let's say that I use the second link, and on the second link you can actually write your code directly there. Okay. Once you do that, you would just need to save your program because it's untitled, and then you should be able to assemble. So let's say that I assemble this program, right? I would be able to have the output by clicking switch to simulator, and it's going to load your addresses and your value in the simulator, and then I click run. And so you would see your output in the console right here. Now, if you need to edit your input in the actual address location, first, again, you would click assemble, paste your code, and then click assemble. And then what you would do is once that's assembled, you're going to load it into simulator. And at this time before you run, if you need to edit your input, which is the value that's located in the second column, you're going to go ahead and click that input, and then you can type in the hex value. So for example, if I need to change this to hex 006, and then I would be able to click check, and you would see the value change there. And then once that's done, you can click run. And when it runs, if you need to check the output of that value at a certain location, you can just go to that location. So a way that you can do a jump to is you can put in an address. Like let's say I need to go to hex 3500. I can just type in the memory address and it's going to bring me to that location. So the same way that you would use in a Windows application, you should be able to do that on the LC3 simulator online. So let me know if you have any questions. Again, all you have to do is write your code in a text editor, save your code as a .asm file, use one of the online simulator, copy paste your code into the provided area by clicking assemble. Once that's done, you're going to assemble the program. And then once you have the assembled program, you're going to load it into the simulator. And then you're going to click run. And if you have output on console, it's going to show here. If you need to check your output at the address location, you can go to the address, or if it's farther down, you can search for that address by typing in the memory address. And it should be able to jump to that address, and you will be able to look at the value in the second column. So let me know if you have any questions, and I hope this video helps you learn how to use the online simulator. If you use Windows PC and if you want to use an online simulator instead of installing the LC-3 simulator application, that's totally fine. You don't have to install and use it on the actual computer. You can just use a web-based simulator to be able to assemble and run your program.